good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Katie O, and this is Moon Woman Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another Astrology Peephole for today, the 20th of October, 2021. Today, our moon is full in the sign of Aries, peaking at 21:56 Bangkok time. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful full moon in the sign of Aries, and we like it. Full moons are all about the peak of the energy. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the newbie of the zodiac. It's the first step. This is about finally. It's about looking at the manifestations that we had in the new moon in Aries, which would have been in April. Why didn't I look at this beforehand? Sorry, just give me a second. Yeah, new moon in April was the 12th of April, or new moon in Aries was the 12th of April. Yeah, we were setting new intentions back then. This was when, interesting. We have Juno going retro that day, and Juno is the asteroid of marriage. So we might have been being a little bit jealous and impulsive at that time. What else have we got in there? Yeah, it was pretty, yeah, Pluto was big time punching us in the face. Pretty much. Pluto was just punching everything in the face at that point. Either way, new moon in Aries, which happened in this month of April, was we were feeling like we really wanted we wanted new, we wanted big, we wanted change, we wanted it. And now with the full moon, it's like this is the culmination of that seed that we sowed all the way back then. The thing that we asked for, the manifestation that we created in April, is maybe finally coming up here. I heard when I started shuffling cards and preparing and doing notes for this, I change shapes just to hide in this place, 'cause I'm still an animal. Nobody knows it but me when I slip. Yeah, I slip. I'm still an animal. I feel like when we were back in April making these new intentions, is we were trying to bring some sort of like peace and civility into our existence. We wanted a new beginning that would be civilized. Yeah. And this time here with this full moon in Aries, we are getting rid of those last bit of those. It's like we want to go back to the basics. We want to go back to our true roots, but we want to remove the primal, animalistic, vicious, reactionary aspects of ourselves, the fire that doesn't suit us. Yeah, the fire that gets us into trouble. We're now kind of getting rid of these things. I changed shapes just to hide in this place. For a long time, the masks that you wore had to do with hiding those parts of yourself that were that had sabotaged you before and starting new things. About wearing masks, and now this full moon is about getting rid of those masks once for good, and realizing that we don't have to be animalistic in order to get back in touch with our roots. Yeah, just because we are animals doesn't mean we have to act like them. I'm hearing. This full moon is a great culmination of energy. We've had a lot of bubbling, a lot of things have happened. Mercury and Saturn have just gone, or Mercury and Jupiter have just gone direct. Saturn went direct 2 weeks last week. Pluto the week before that, or 2 weeks before that. Venus, the week before that, as well as Venus going into the sign of Sagittarius. We're having really, really big changes of thoughts about how our small piece fits into the greater picture of things. And there's been so much culminating energy that now we're getting ready to up and go. We want to move, we want to change, we want to shake, we're doing stuff, we're doing it. And I feel like this full moon is a true coming to the peak of our energies. And if we use it responsibly, we're really going to be able to change a lot of the course of what's going to happen to us in the next few months. When, by the way, we're coming into a little bit of I believe we've got there's like some eclipses coming up at the end of, I think it's like a mini eclipse season, isn't it? Usually in November. Either way, we've got Scorpio season starting next week, which it's the season ruled by Pluto. Pluto has always been poking around lately. There's just been so much happening. And it's this is the crescendo. It's a crescendo. I know we often have crescendos. Everybody's on different paths, but like there's a big, massive, energetic, collective crescendo happening right now. Okay, let's talk about the 4 transits, or sorry, aspects that we've got in play today. First, let's talk about the moon in opposition with the sun. This is what a full moon is. It's literally the sun and the moon on opposite sides of one another. That's what makes it full, what makes it bright, all of that wonderful stuff. This is a full culmination of energy. And when they are opposite each other, this is our masculine and our feminine on opposite sides, sitting across from a table. And maybe for a long time we looked at this energy of a full moon, of this like masculine side, feminine side, light side, shadow side, giving side, receiving side, whatever. When they were sat across the table, we thought, bad news, duality. No, this is bad, this is true, and this is not, and da 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 da. I know all of this, and that is that. But now, since we've done a lot of bit of moving and shaking here, we're looking at it as a polar situation. We're looking at it as, when they sit opposite each other, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're fighting or disagreeing. It just means that they are shining off of one another. We're bouncing off ideas. This is like a sense of collaboration instead of competition. Yeah, before it was like we saw the full moon energy as like, what's going to win, the dark or the light? It's not a competition. There's no one that's going to win. It's going to be an integration, and that's what we have to look at it from now on. This full moon in Aries is allowing us to have new, fiery desire to start some fresh, interesting, new energies, yeah? And we need to stop looking at everything as a competition. I think that that's one of the major themes here, especially with this tug of war of that sun and the moon. They're taking almost a Jupiterian, and this is the next one that I'm talking about, is Jupiter is kind of coming into play in the next one. It's almost like they're taking Jupiter's word for it, because sometimes when Jupiter is in opposition with something, it's like it doesn't even want to play tug of war. It's like, no, I don't want to. Let's just look at flowers instead. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Why not? Let's look at flowers instead. Let's do things something differently. Let's expand this idea. Let's change it. Let's be unexpected. Yeah. But yeah, it's almost like the sun and the moon now are taking that kind of stance. Yeah. And coincidentally, the moon is in a sextile with Jupiter. So the realistic expansion and growth is now possible for the first time with the healing that we've done, and the new approach makes us go at it right the first time. I'm hearing we're going at it right the first time. All of this stuff that's been going on in retrograde season, especially with regards, if you didn't see yesterday's Peephole, go check it out, because I talked a lot about how Jupiter kind of comes into play with this, with Mars trining Jupiter from yesterday. I'm going to mention it again today. Super important to take baby steps to ask for advice. If we know that we're not an expert at something, don't pretend that like you are. Don't wear a mask pretending like you know everything. Ask somebody who knows what they're talking about for a little bit of advice here. And this sort of realistic expansion of our ideas, being able to ask people for advice, being able to collaborate, being able to work a little bit more, being able to see things from a polaristic sense or a polarized sense instead of if this one's true, then this one must be false, because that's just, it has to be one or the other, right? Because this is true, it gives us a better way to look at this one, because it rules out one truth. It doesn't necessarily make the opposite true. It narrows down what this thing that's facing it can be, because you've removed one of the options of what it can be. Yeah. All right. But yeah, we're really going at things right the first time now. Our subconscious is pushing us towards doing things right, and it's almost like we've even been diverged and pushed away from things that maybe looked kind of cool and like they might fit and they might work, but it's like if we weren't able to do it right the first time, the universe was just like, nope. All right, the moon is also in opposition with Mars, so we are moving slow, or it's a no-go now. Like I was just saying, everything's really flowing in one idea into the other today. Moving slower or the no-go. I got the imagery of, I know it's very trendy, very fad-esque, but hey, look, the imagery, this is the way that I do my sort of mediumship, for lack of better words. This is the way that I relate my concepts. Is I look at I look at relevant imagery. They bring relevant pop culture imagery a lot of the time, or situational imagery to mind, songs, poems, whatever. So that I can bring into perspective the energies that are at play. And what they showed me was Squid Game, the game where they had to get out of the honeycomb. Yeah, and he's like scraping away at his umbrella, and he knows that like he has to go at this slowly or he will be eliminated. So this is the energy right now. If you've got to go slow, you cannot rush. If you rush, you're going to get kicked right the fuck out of this. You've got a golden opportunity right now with this full moon in Aries to do something differently and to start yourself on a new path. It was just 10-10. Maybe something coming from the 10-10 portal is really important for you. But either way, you have a golden opportunity since the 10-10 portal with the culmination of the energies in this full moon. Yeah. But if you're not willing to do it right the first time, you're not even going to be allowed to go anywhere near this opportunity. It's an exclusive club, my friends. And you need to deem yourself worthy. In this full moon, depending on how you act in this full moon, is going to decide whether or not you get the invite to the party. Okay? You're not even allowed to go near the building if you're not going to be able to behave like a semi, yeah, be hedonistic, but in a civilized manner. All right? I'm getting the vision of a very exclusive party. Yeah, in the penthouse of some fancy hotel. All right? Yeah, there's all kinds of delinquency going up in there. But if you're not presenting yourself in a certain way, or you don't know the right person, or whatever it may be, if you're not in the right standing, you're not going to be invited. It's just the way that things are. Yeah. It's like I'm getting the imagery of like a really exclusive artist doing an exposition in a gallery. And this artist is like so sought after that nobody's even going to say that they're in town because it'll make the community go crazy. And you really need to be somebody who's very trustworthy to know that they're around and to be invited to this event, even. Because it's only like after the person has already left town and the critics have spoken about it that people even find out that, oh my God, this person was even in town. Yeah, it's that kind of an energy. So you might realize that you missed out on it. If you're not ready to go at it right, you might realize that you've missed out on an opportunity and you didn't even get offered it. So be sure that you are acting in your integrity right now. Okay? The moon is squaring Pluto. Here we go. Do you want to change or not? Pluto says. Be my guest. Go for it. Act like the delinquent that you once were, and it never really worked out for you, right? But I promise you there will be a dead end on the other side of that full moon if you act like a dickhead. That's what they're saying. Pluto wants you to use this potential energy, this peak of the full moon wisely. But if you're not approaching it in the right way, you're going to be just shuffled off and not even realize that you missed the opportunity. It's very, very cut or dry energy. It's like Santa Claus and figuring out if he's bringing children presents or coal. It's like Santa Claus doesn't wait to have an interview with you, right? You only figure out Christmas morning when you go down to your stocking that it's full of coal and you don't have any presents. So you better be going at things right. Put yourself where it is. And don't let this make you all nervous, right? Don't get caught up in it because it is what it is, right? We're in a flow state. We're trying to surrender to the energies, right? All right, I'm going to use the Wild Unknown Archetypes Oracle to get the card of the day. This is really intense because, oops, oh my God, good Lord, everything fell out. We're going to try this again. I don't even know. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do a live for the, no. I still don't know when I'm going to put out the full moon video yet. Either way, there's a full moon video. If you've not already seen it, go check it out. Yeah. Okay, the desert. Number 37, which breaks to a 10. Completion of the cycle. Yesterday we got the world card. Excuse me. Desert. Dry, dry desert. Under the deck is the poet. But there is beauty in this dryness right now. There's beauty in this pause. There's simplicity in the silence I'm hearing. There's something really, really special about just taking a second here. For a long time, you would have felt like you were drowning if you sat still for too long, but I'm hearing that you're feeling the beauty in that waiting moment. You're getting it. You're understanding it. You're understanding what the desert was all about in the first place. That's what I'm getting at. The poet. You're seeing the poetry in the aridness, the poetry in these cycles coming to a close. It grounds you. With this red, oh my God, does it ever ground you? You're feeling extremely grounded today. You feel like you could, maybe some of you guys need to write about it. Or either auto-write, or even some of you are writing a book, or writing a story, or writing a song, or painting a mural. Some of you are painting a mural. Some of you guys are coming out of writer's block, or some sort of a creative blockage. And you're understanding that you needed to be off in the desert in order to gain potential energy to be able to, like, oh my God, I'm hearing, if you are identifying with an energy of writer's block or creative block of some sorts, oh my God, you are going to be so productive in the coming weeks. Like, it's going to be ridiculous. You're just not going to be able to stop. Like, you're going to give yourself carpal tunnel. Yeah, there's a real, something's, this is not being swallowed by the sand. This is emerging. It's like the zombies coming out, but they're not all rotten. Interesting. Dog days are over. I'm hearing again. Let's see what we got from the bag of tricks today. Okay. Please do, and shifting. Okay, guys, just accept that this energy is shifting. It's not the same as it used to be. You're being led down a wild ride, my friend. It's Mr. Toad's wild ride. Just accept whatever comes. Look, accept the shift. You might not know what the hell is going on with these poofs left, right, and center, but, like, just let it happen. Okay, I'm hearing just let it happen. Speed up and dilemma. You're really feeling, yeah, you're really conflicted. You're feeling like this energy is moving too fast for you, I'm hearing, and you're like, no, I don't know if I'm ready yet. I don't know if I'm ready yet. You're ready. You're fine. Stop bitching about it. Just take it. Look, take it. Please do. Shifting. Take this shift. No, you're not. Yeah. Look, you're on track. Obligation. They're saying you've got to move now. You've got to do it now. Just let this energy flow you. Just go with the flow state. Just let this take you. Break out of the desert. It's time. You're on track. The universe is forcing you. They're forcing you. Twin flame and holiday. Okay. Some of you need to take a break from your boring day to day and go off and find something that is absolutely destined for you. Twin flame. There's some sort of, you've got this little fire inside of you, and there's another little fire somewhere that matches your little fire, and you just have to travel to go and get it. Now, some of you guys need to go overseas. Some of you guys have to walk down the fucking road, okay? But either way, there is some sort of a physical moving towards the energy of the little fire that keeps your little fire burning. You might not even know this person. You might not even meet them, but you might have a pull to go somewhere, to go do something, to be in a certain place. And it's going to set you up to try and find something that you're meant for, okay? That's what this obligation is. They want you. You've been saying, I want my twin flame. I want my destiny. I want my future. Okay, they're bringing you towards it now. They're saying, come out of the desert. Stop holding yourself back. It's time. Let's go. Let's write. I'm hearing Natasha Bedingfield. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. All right? You write your own future now. You're the poet. What do you want? But stop hiding. Okay, stop hiding. It's time to come out of this deserty vibes. Whee! Let's go. The full moon. We're rolling down the other hill, and like, it's yeah. A rolling stone gathers no moss, my friends. If you're all mossy, start a rolling. It's time to roll. Okay. If you're covered in lichens, it's a problem. All right. Yeah, it might be real great for the environment, but human beings are not meant to be covered in lichens. Get going, my friends. All right. Maybe some of you guys are dealing with a fungus. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about your fungus, okay? Oh, I don't know why. Sometimes I really don't. Don't ask me. Okay, I'm gonna just quit while I'm ahead. I'm sorry for anything you're going through, or if I made you feel a certain way. Thank you for being a beautiful being, and lending your energy to the circuit that I hold so dear. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, the angels, for giving me a really weird, bizarre, obscure laugh, and for bringing us these clear, concise messages, maybe a little bit too clear and concise sometimes, for our greatest good whenever we find them, whether it be right now, in the near future, or distant future, because the astrology doesn't necessarily have to dictate when the messages are pertinent for us. When we find the video, the messages are good for us. And I accept this, and I hope you do too. I love you to the moon and the stars and to infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too. But if not, deal with your fungus and we'll talk. Okay, bye.